Okay, folks, so this week is the third week in January 2024, and my challenge is to give you a review of a course called Stone Ridge Golf Course, which is located just south of Prescott, Arizona. And in the introductory photos here that I have, it's showing you basically the landscape, roads and satellite view of the area of the golf course. And this is really kind of a contradiction in terms. It's a nice course, and even in the winter, it's a pretty decent looking course, a very appealing course in my sense in terms of verticality and tight shots off the tees and so forth. But it's in the middle of what I was surprised to find was really kind of desolate desert, not really, hard desert, but still not really appealing landscape. But this is a nice little neighborhood that they've crafted out of the mountains, just north of Phoenix, between Phoenix and Flagstaff. And it's really an interesting course. I'm really glad that I made the choice to play this course. It was one of the better courses I've ever played and one of the better rounds that I had playing golf. Just a lot of fun. And for the price, for $65 on a Friday, the weather was a little bit overcast when I started. And this was a choice I had, was Friday overcast but 57 degrees, or Saturday a clear sunny day but the temperatures were supposed to be down in the low 50s. And it was a very interesting turn of events, as usual. In my experience in Arizona, the weather turns out to be better than advertised, warmer than advertised, and the overcast sky cleared to a really clear, light clouds, beautiful sky. I mean, it's really nice to play golf on a day when the weather is at least partly cloudy. If it's overcast, definitely too hard to see the ball at times, especially with the sun up in the overcast. The ball can just get lost up in the clouds. But if you have some blue to work with, it works out really well. The only thing I really had a problem with on this round was the fact that it was during the week and there were significant greenskeeper fouling. Had it on 3 holes, but basically other than that, really just an amazingly good round. Fun all day long. The first hole seems to have a lot of houses on it, but that was really the only part of the course that had a lot of houses. Certainly a neighborhood course, but in general, not an overbearing, intrusive, annoying degree of houses. And certainly some houses which I thought would really look nice. I would mind living there in some of these houses, and nice views, but just in general, really kind of not green. I think was the main problem. So anyway, let me let you look over the course. I got some really good photos, at least technically. Got some good video, the image stabilization on, much better than my last video out in, I think it was Coral Canyon, out in St. George, where I had so much image shake in my videos that I was just like, what is this? And really hating the fact that my camera ran out of power on the front side of the course. My phone ran out of power because it was producing much better images and videos and shooting in that high contrast environment than my cameras, my old DSLR and I don't know, I'd say bridge cameras, but still point and shoots were really not handling that dynamic range very well. And this 6.8 does a really, really good job with dynamic range. It's a great HDR, great color. It has a little bit too much sharpening in some scenes. It shows up highly detailed scenes, but in general, it just takes really nice photos. And in fact, when I went to take this, play this course, Stone Ridge, I didn't even take my DSLRs. I didn't take any of my other cameras. I just took this one. I mean, it's just such a amazingly good photographic tool, and it's flat and small. It fits in my pocket. And the battery runs all day long. I never have to worry about the battery running out. Though it is tricky to use in bright light, you have to be careful to turn off the movie recording in the daylight where you can't see the screen without some sun shield somewhere. And if you don't turn the movie off, it will run the battery out rapidly, shooting 1080p, 30 even. It'll run that battery out in like 15 minutes. You got to be very careful of that. There's no moving parts with the lens sliding in and out, or autofocus or any of that crap. Shutter releases. And it's just really good for golf photography. So I put some shots in there that are comparison shots between the DNG files, which I converted, I guess, using DC RAW, basically, because I use Linux, and basically DC RAW is a conversion tool, edit it in GIMP, and viewed it 200 to 300 to 400%. And also the camera JPEGs zoomed out to 400 for comparison. And you can see, yeah, there's some, obvious image distortion with compression, distortion, and noise reduction on the left side, which is the camera JPEG, and the right side, which is the DNG file processed in GIMP. The other thing that the DNG files have is a significant amount of vignetting out of this small camera lens, which I just did not even feel like bothering to try to correct manually. If I had a processing file for, say, some kind of editing, some kind of raw editor that would automatically correct all the vignetting, I might consider doing that, but otherwise, no. Vignetting is one of the most difficult things to fix in a raw file, and it just was not worth the admittedly decent improvement in fine detail on a 1080p file. Just wasn't worth it. Even in 4K probably wasn't worth it. I mean, the detail is such a small difference. You're looking at such fine detail considering the entire field of view of the original image. I mean, it just is hardly even really possible to see it unless you have like a 96-inch monitor. You're not going to see that at full image. You're just not going to see the difference. It is there if you look, but it's not going to be there if you normally view it. So the 6A does have the capability of shooting in both RAW plus JPEG. You can get it if you want it, but you really have to put some effort in finding the proper software and customized files for your phone image to fix it to look anywhere near as good as the camera JPEGs do. And I literally not worth the days for me to do that on some videos of playing golf. So I did find that rotating the images slightly gives them enough blur to handle the over sharpening. If you really want to try that, that's a lot easier than processing the DNG files. I use things like Neat Image and GIMP and Raw Therapy to do my raw processing. And I just remember spending days, just preparing the image files for these videos. And now it's, okay, which shots am I going to throw out? And maybe I'll crop a few, and maybe I'll slightly rotate a few if I don't get the alignment quite right, when I took the shot. I mean, in terms of image processing now, it takes me about a couple of hours at most to prepare the video. The rest of it is all about getting the soundtrack right, getting what I want to say and getting that done and fitting it to the video. So this one I made a little bit short. Usually make them about 15 minutes. This one's going to be about 10.5 minutes. And I have maybe 45 seconds of video that I shot on site. So this is not going to be quite a full 10-minute recording. Anyway, had a great time playing the course. It definitely is a challenging Slip 140 course, but fun. It was absolutely worth it. 5-hour drive to get there, 5-hour drive to get back, 5 hours to play the course. Just a wonderful course. This is definitely an A- course. Just outstanding challenge of golf, but not too hard. I think it was a very good first time round of golf and just a whole lot of fun. That's Stone Ridge Golf Course in Prescott, Arizona.